when it's live and then I'll wait.
So is it going straight to you then?
Hello everybody and welcome to the Doncaster Equine College live question and answer session. So thank you very much for those that are joining us. So you can watch this evening on Doncaster Equine College's Facebook, Instagram and YouTube channels. So thank you for those that are joining us. So my name's Amelia and we're joined by Matthew Clark and Rachel Proudley, who we will introduce shortly. So this evening we're going to be chatting about Doncaster Equine College courses, so the equine courses that we have, and also touch on apprenticeships as well. So please get involved in the conversations. All you need to do is put your comments in the either Facebook, Instagram or YouTube. Ask your questions in the comments and we will answer as many as we can live. So then, first let's introduce you both. So starting with you, Matt, so you're our training manager here at Doncaster Equine College and also at the National Horse Racing College as well, which we cross over.
Yeah.
So a little bit about your background. So it's mainly racing, but it's also equine.
Yeah, no, I started riding when I was 8 years old. Went to my local riding school, picked it up, learned how to do all that side of things, did a bit of show jumping, eventing, and then just kind of looked into where I would like to take my career. I went down the racing route, went down to one of the colleges and did my foundation course. I did that. It was a 9-week intense course and started on my level 2 apprenticeship. And I then eventually went on to become a conditional jump jockey for MLNO in 2008. And then did all right. So, had a few races and stuff, did a bit of pointing, and decided that I'd go back to university. So I did my sports coaching and fitness degree, and then after I did that, I got an instructor job here about 10 years ago now, and then got the opportunity to be appointed as training manager in 2021. So that's kind of my short synopsis of myself. So I've worked obviously closely with Rachel, but I've got a little bit of background on sort of general horse equine care, but more specialist in the racing side. So,
You're just equine, passionate about equine.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it started off like that, from the very beginning. Where do you start and with anything with equine? What do you get? Where did you get it? Where can you go? And for me, it was literally in the back. I can remember now. I was in the back of my garden, and it was sounds of horses' hooves on the back of the road. And just went to parents, can I go and have a look? And just that was it, and just got hooked on it. And I've just gone a different path with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah.
And Rachel, so you started from a young age with the passion and love for horses as well. So from a young age, and then you've had an extensive career with horses in many different disciplines. So tell us a bit about that.
So I was fortunate that my mum is a qualified instructor. So we were around the local pony clubs and riding schools, and so it kind of started from there. I decided that's what I wanted my career to be, because I wasn't very good at school and didn't enjoy it. So I wanted to be work with horses, and it was important to my mum that I had some qualifications behind me, and then I could go and do what I wanted to do with horses. So I did my qualifications, but I had to do them through what would be like an apprentice equivalent at the time. And with that, I did my stages and qualifications to let me off the hook so I could go and go to racing. We worked in the National Hunt Yard. The lady that I worked for specialised in horses that were tricky and difficult, which is what I really enjoy. And I then went into I worked for a vet who had 5 patients, pointers and hunters as their head girl, and so I saw the operations, I saw the fitness side of it, and then I went to work for a show jumper who rode up and down the country in various different levels of competitions up to grade A's, and then came home and started breaking school and finding my own way at home. The teaching came in as a background, and then by chance ended up working my way across here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
So
2017,
so
you joined when
2017.
Doncaster Equine College began here,
Yeah.
and been here ever since. I'm a member of the team as well.
Yeah. On the first day, first person here. Yes.
You were
Yeah.
here. Wonderful.
Yeah.
You've seen so many students come through the college,
Yeah.
since the start as well, and seen their progress, and many I'm sure you see out in the industry now as well,
Yeah.
which is good to see.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we've got quite a few that are still active in the horse world and still enjoying it and doing what they've wanted to do. Yeah.
They love,
Yeah.
absolutely. Wonderful, thank you both. So just to our viewers that are watching this evening, so for those that aren't aware of the courses that we do at Doncaster Equine College, so we have the Level 1 Horse Care course, we have our Level 2 Diploma in Horse Care, and we also have the Level 3 Advanced Technical Diploma in Equine Management. So they're the three courses that we do that are based here at Doncaster Equine College. We also offer 2 apprenticeships as well, so that's the Level 2 Equine Groom Apprenticeship and the Level 3 Senior Equine Groom Apprenticeship. So they're our offerings here. A little bit about the courses that we offer as well. So all of our courses are available for anybody aged 16 and over. They are full-time courses, so that's a minimum of 17.5 hours a week, which works out about 2.5 days a week. You could be a rider or a non-rider, so some of our learners choose to not ride, don't they, for however reason it may be. All of our courses start in September and finish in July, just as the general academic year at school would be. So for those that wish to be a rider, we do have a weight limit in place. So that's a weight limit of 13 stone, isn't it, for those that wish to ride. So for those that want to be a non-rider, it may be because they potentially exceed that weight, or if they just don't have that passion to ride horses but love working with horses from the ground. So a little bit about our Level 1 course then, so we'll start with that one. Our Level 1 is very much the foundation, the entry-level course. So it's for those that have never even touched a horse before, no experience with horses, and also they don't need any academic qualifications either, do they? So that's great for those that are really new to horses and maybe didn't achieve grades that they hoped to at school, for instance. But they can be anywhere 16 plus, so finished year 11 at school, they'll be eligible to do that course. Yeah. So Level 2, then moving on to that one, so that's from September, Diploma in Horse Care.
Yeah.
So for that level, so they need to be competent riding horses, or with the horse management side of things, which will be determined by a skills test, isn't it? So so they'll apply. Once we get that information from them, you'll be put forward for a skills test. And also for the Level 2 Diploma in Horse Care, they'll need a GCSE Level 3 or above in English and Maths to achieve their GCSEs. Moving up to the Level 3, which is a 2-year course. So I didn't mention the Level 1 and Level 2 are 1 year on their own, and the Level 3 is a 2-year course. So those that are undertaking the Level 3, they would need Level 4 or above in English and Maths GCSE. And they would need relevant experience with horses that would be Level 2 or above. So that's a little bit about our courses that we have here.
What's quite nice about that offering as well, you can start from your Level 1, work all the way up all the qualifications, and it's nice that we've got that expanse. Level 1 and 2, I would say, are a little bit less academic, more practical orientated in terms of the horse care and welfare side of things. Whereas your Level 3 technical would be at A-level sort of standard. There's more assignment-based projects, case studies. It's a little bit more academic, but the good thing about that is if maybe you have aspirations to specialise in things, it could give you some credit points to get into university and things like that. So if they have aspirations to go down that route. So and Rachel and her team, they'll have conversations throughout the year and see where they're kind of maybe signposting them or helping them. We sort of have those progression interviews that they go through, and that's again where conversations can be handled. Yeah, carry on this course pathway, or maybe an apprenticeship might be better.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you say, watching the progress when those have started the level 1 horse care through to the end of the series, that's 4 years in total that they
Essentially,
spent here at the college. Yeah. So you get to see them grow not only with their skills but as a person as well, and their confidence as well.
Yeah.
What you see and people changing.
Yeah. I think the thing that has to be known is that when you do the level 1 programme, that is the foundation for all of it. So it doesn't matter how old you are, how skilled you are, a horse still needs mucking out. It still needs grooming, it still needs the care. It's just that as you go up the levels, you have more understanding of why and how you can do it better, quicker, more efficiently. So that's really, a lot of people think that they shouldn't do level 1 because they think they're above it, but in actual fact, the foundation that you get from that core skills across the board at that level are great building blocks.
Yeah, it's so important as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's quite a nice environment here because of that nature. Everyone knows once you're in your first year, you turn and you get familiar with all the horses and stuff. You feel like you're a bit connected to the family, so a lot of them want to come back and do another course. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so that when you're in there, you're like really connected with the animals, connected with the staff. You really get to know everyone. The campus is quite a small campus in comparison to maybe some other colleges, but that's quite unique for us, and I think that's what sells something a little bit different for other people. It's a bit more personalisation, a bit more meaningful. Rachel and her team can, the classes would probably be between 15 to 20, I would say, in average sizes. So in comparison to maybe some other places, it's quite small, and more that one-to-one can be had, or those when you have your reviews and stuff like that, things to work on. So I think that's a nice selling feature of this place. It feels sort of like you're part of something,
Absolutely, yeah. And it's a unique learning journey. Every learner has a different journey, a different pace, and we're well aware of that as well.
Yeah.
And the support that individuals may need a little bit more support than others, and that's where we step in. Obviously, we've got our college counsellor, Claire Walker, who will be there if required, and our functional skills team as well. Danny and his team that step in where required, and of course, you both and your team as well that step in when the support is needed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So then, what does a typical day look like for a Doncaster Equine College student? So, what time do they start, and what would their typical day look like?
We all start at 9 o'clock with registration. So in that time, it's the checking of who's here. We have the deck mobile phone, and all students have that number. So if you are running late, which transport does cause problems, we do have a clear guidance that they need to let us know. They can't, it's out of their control unless they repeatedly have a line every morning, which most of them don't. So we do ask them to contact us, but 9 times out of 10, everybody is at where they need to be at 9 o'clock. We allocate horses, or we follow their rota of what they're doing. So there is a set plan that they'll have for a week. One of those will be yards in the morning, one of them will be evening stables. They usually ride every day that they come into college to make sure that we're keeping everybody on track, and they will usually have a theory session as well. If you are doing maths and English, that is usually around lunchtime, and your programmes will be at the beginning and the end of the day. We try to structure each day very similar, so you don't get confused or lost where you're going, and it seems to work quite easily for everybody to pick up where they need to be and what be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. And how many times would someone that chooses to be a rider, how many times would they ride a week? Would they ride each day they're here? Or?
So if you're on a level 1 and a level 2, we embed the English and maths in the programmes. So to make sure that everybody attends each day, because obviously you don't want to just come for maths and English, we try to make sure that they've got riding 3 times a week. The level 3 programs for the technicals, they will come in twice a week and they'll ride twice a week if that's if they're on the riding program. So we do try to we understand that people come wanting to ride, and we try to make sure that happens.
Yeah. So, what would you look for in somebody applying for Doncaster Equine College? If somebody was thinking, "Oh, I'd love to go, but I'm not sure if it's suitable for me," what would you say to them?
Come on open days or taster days, come and look at the site, look at our website, inquire, walk through the tours, come and see what we can do, provide, even phoned up and just from this Q&A and just thought, I want to find out more, and I like looking at Matthew and Rachel there, I might give them a call.
Well, we had the taster day this morning,
Yeah.
so we had a good turnout for the taster day this morning. So that they're ideal starters. So if you've never handled a horse, we're giving you an opportunity to come and see what sorts of things you might do, being able to catch and lead, and being able to groom and have a go on the simulator and sort of have a bit of a taste of what we offer and what we do. So that's a great way to get yourself going. You need to make sure that it's something you want to do. So we want people to, if they want to have a bash at it, they've got to want to come and be committed to the course. So they've got to consider how far they're travelling, they've got to consider that the motivation to be able to be here in all weathers, that they really, really want to take part in the college environment, working with horses, finding out what it's to work with other people, because that's a big one that young people really struggle with, the socialising of strong-minded people that come together, because they are very strong-minded, some of them, and some of them do really get enthusiastic in then showing their knowledge and views. So that's a key part of wanting to really accept being part of it and getting involved. And
I think for those type of people, as long as they're willing and engaging and want to learn, from a coaching perspective, certainly for the level ones who maybe have never done much or touched horses, it's the when we're interviewing, that's what we want to see, is the passion behind that. And even have they done a little bit of research themselves? I always ask, did you do any voluntary work, or did you ever look into horses or do anything to see if it is something you're interested in? I think it comes across if you're kind of intrigued, passionate and willing. Certainly from a coaching perspective, it makes the job a lot easier and that side of stuff, absolutely.
Yeah, and they're going to be on a learning journey, so you will have ups and downs, you will get your toes stood on, you will get pushed around, but ultimately the horses and really taking responsibility for that, you've just got to learn to deal with it and get on with life. So massive life skills that you're going to learn being part of the course and programs that we offer.
Yeah, absolutely. So those that visit Doncaster Equine College, so we're based at Rosington Hall, National Horse Racing College. Some people may be more familiar with the National Horse Racing College, between Watertree and Doncaster. So where are our learners from? Where do they live, and how do they make their way to the college each day?
Well, we're on a residential course for Doncaster Equine College, so again, as Rachel was highlighting, it's the commuting. So that's something we normally, when we're interviewing, is how you're going to get to or make that commitment, which it can be quite difficult, that, Rachel.
Yeah. What you would think it would be an easy bus journey isn't always. So the commitment that some of the students that are attending college presently make is amazing. So some of them are catching trains from Sheffield to Doncaster and then the bus and out. They'll get off at the top on the road and walk down. They all tend to congregate in Doncaster Main and bus out, the ones that come in. We've got some that are travelling from Retford and Worksop, so they're coming the opposite direction. So there's people coming from all different ways, and it is commendable the amount of time that it takes for them to get here sometimes, and organisation skills, which are fantastic for when you then do get a job go forward because she's showing real resilience.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Independence.
And
yeah,
independence in travel.
yeah.
So sometimes I am really amazed by the journeys that they're making to get in, but they are so driven that they want to be here.
Yeah.
We normally would say within the locality of their
Driven
area.
is probably
you
a
know.
wrong word. So determined to be here.
Yeah.
Because I think if you start going over 2.5 hours and stuff like that, it's just that amount of travel.
Logistics of it,
Logistics is just a bit too much for someone commuting anyway.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's a good life skill though. Like Rachel was highlighting. It's
Some of them, the way that they can read the bus timetables and organise getting here is amazing.
So is it so?
Yeah. And so maths should be a doddle to them. Yeah.
But and there's lots of other people doing it as well, so it's not like it's an isolated person.
Yeah.
So most of the students do commute by bus and train.
I've seen a little green
army.
in their uniform. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had a few questions come through. So Lily's asked, how many days a week will I attend college?
Depending on what course she's doing. So if she's on a level 1 or level 2, it will be towards 3 days.
Yeah.
If she's on the level 3 programme, it'll be 2 days.
Wonderful. And Tyler's asked, how much do the Doncaster Equine College courses cost?
So depending on his age, if he's in the 16 to 18 bracket, no cost to him.
Yeah.
If he's 19 plus, at the moment it's £600 for the year.
Yeah.
Is my understanding.
Plus they would need to buy the uniform.
So yeah, the only other cost would be uniform costs, for purchasing and stuff like that.
We have bursaries available as well, don't we?
Not for 19 plus.
So for those under the age, it's free.
Yeah.
To attend.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And they're eligible for applying for anything else like bursary wise,
So a question we had come in before the live started is, how are the DEP courses assessed? So the exams, coursework, or a mixture?
So they are a mixture. So depending on the program they're on, but normally it's either through questions and answers, portfolio work or evidence, observations, or directly watching them do the task. So it's a collective of different things. So, and even there are some exams where they have to sit in an exam condition where they are completing either maybe multiple choice or having to do something through an exam board where it's in those conditions. But generally, it is a holistic overview of different things. So for a lot of kids, actually, it benefits them because some find doing practical stuff and observations more better than they do the scribing and writing, particularly as you go through the levels and you're having to, as Rachel was highlighting before, explain the why and the doing and not just stating it. It's kind of the knowledge behind that. So I don't think I've missed anything else from.
the level 3s are written papers, and standard written papers like A-level students would. And the issue with that is that the results don't come out until when A-levels are released. So with the level 1 and the level 2, by the time we get to July, we know that they've completed and passed the programme. The technicals are all following on A-level and O-level release dates of success. So we've got best guess, but not actual until those dates, are released.
And the team are great because they're all prepping the learners up for these, assessments, observations. It's not, even though there is a little bit they've got to do it and be independent to do that, but the whole program, the intent of the program is to get them ready and prepared for passing their qualification. And our QARs at the moment are outstanding, for the achievements. So hopefully, we can continue to keep hitting that bell on top.
And that's where being that smaller college, more close-knit college does.
I think so.
Does benefit that.
I would definitely agree.
So a few more questions that we've had come through. So Dominic's asked, what are the facilities like here? So what have we got?
Well, we've just got authorisation to install our solarium that we've bought, so that's fantastic.
Great for winter.
For our golden oldies. So I will be fan teaching under there quite often. We've also got a lovely big indoor school. We've got outdoor facilities as well. So as we've been outside lunging today, it's quite a big area. so they've lunged for in that arena today. We do have access to go on gallops if we want to. We've got some hacking around the back and some paths and tracks that we can also use. We have got our full yard. We've got 24 boxes, and we've got various equipment that within there. So we use massage pads and magnetic rugs and all sorts of treatments that we've got for the horses. So we're trying to do quite a big range of things for them, as well as the facilities for riding in and lunging and turnout. So ours predominantly live out, so we've got quite good turnout facilities as well.
We've got Harold, of course, as well.
Harold's dressage simulator. Oh my gosh, I
He's
forget.
Harold's popular. Isn't he?
Yes.
So he's relatively, well, I say new, in the last 3 years. He joined, was it? It's relatively recent.
No.
So he's a fantastic asset to our facilities.
And he gets used to both colleges, you know, because of that benefit. You know, he can be very basic in the sense of what you can do within it, but then can do quite advanced dressage manoeuvres, which I'm not too familiar with, but I try my best. I've done a few times and not very successful. I'm trying to remember even just circles and half passes and things like that. Rachel would be disappointed in my abilities, I'd imagine.
So, of course, every learner will go on the simulators as well. So, the non-riders as well, they'll understand the concept of how to ride. They'll just never physically ride a horse. So
we use the racing simulators likewise as well, because the benefits of being able to get into a light seat and being able to, you know, learn to absorb movement and canter and things like that. So those simulators are a great asset to the college all around.
We've got a fitness suite down at the visitor centre, and some of the students we've had in the past go in there and use it in the morning, haven't we? Just to do some exercise and stuff. You know, even though it's not necessarily in the core programme that we deliver that, but they can use that and stuff like that.
And that's the beauty of sharing facilities with National Horse Racing Colleges. They are fantastic facilities. You know, the indoor arena is
60 by 40.
So it's big. You can fit 2 dressage arenas in there. We do have competitions here as well, don't we? So we run a lot of our own dressage showing competitions that the learners do get involved in as well. Encouraged to get involved. So they're really popular.
Well, it's giving them a first-hand insight into preparing horses for competition, which if you're then going to go and work for somebody, you start to understand the nerves and the process that they go through in dealing with the actual competition. So it's good for them to be able to produce and turn a horse out to for the competition and go through that process themselves, but it's also giving them an understanding when they're working for people and they might be not competing themselves. So all round there's value to it. The level 3 year 2, one of the compulsory units is about managing events, so they're involved with the running and the background work that needs to go into organising the times and the numbers and the rosettes and judges and everything else.
Just so much behind the scenes that's involved in competitions like that it's great for them to get involved as well.
And I'll just get that experience, that hands-on experience that they might not get opportunities that we can deliver here. It's great, and you know, like my sort of expertise, I get to help out occasionally.
Matthew's our key car pack man. You cannot have a function without Matthew on the game. He's totally in control. This year he took up the mantle of the loudspeaker as well. Excellent voice projection.
Put that on your CV.
I will, absolutely.
So a few more questions that we've got come in. So Fran has asked, am I too late to apply for a course starting in September?
No.
I've just finished my GCSEs.
No, please do. We'd be delighted to meet you.
So get your applications in.
Next interview date's in July, so we're really open to extra people wanting to come. Delighted to meet them and speak to them and find out where they fit within the college.
Definitely, you can tell you the dates. It's the 17th and the 24th of July.
There we go.
So get your applications in.
So for those to apply, all they need to do, go onto our website. It's all digital. Onto the website, click on the apply button, send off your application form as in-depth as you possibly can, include every single thing, and then we'll get in touch.
Usually it's like within 5 to 10 working days, so admin would get in touch with that person and then, say, get them through the process.
Yeah, and then from there we would offer them to come to the college for what we call an interview day. So it's like a one-to-one chat with them to understand why they want a career with horses, why they want to do horses at Doncaster Equine College and down that route as well.
Yeah, and don't be scared about the interview process. It feels formal and you feel like you're going to get sat in front of someone, but it really is just sort of more information gathering.
It is, yeah, but it's really, really important because it gives us the opportunity to guide them into the right course and place and be able to do without feeling that they're pushed the wrong way. And so when we talk to people on an individual basis, we're really trying to think of the whole bigger picture. So you might have somebody that's got a problem at home and putting them onto that course might be too pressured at the moment, and so we might discuss whether they would be able to cope with that, whether Claire Walker would need to be involved. So we look at all different holistic to that person to try to make sure that they are exactly where they should be, rather than just going, you can go there, you can go there. It is very much what we think you can do and what you're telling us, and then we can always change when we hit September if there's problems and we need to, or actually you're a lot better than what you were telling us and we can move you up a level. So it just depends on the person, and young people have so many problems that they're dealing with nowadays. It is really important that we look at every aspect of their programme, and so hopefully we're making the right choices with them, not for them.
So from a support perspective as well, so for those that do need that additional support, whether it's with the horses, whether it's in a classroom environment, so in functional skills, for instance, so that's where our team is really hot on making sure people need that the correct support.
Absolutely. We've got Daniel helps sort of create some of the support plans for them. So usually if we've identified anything through starting point questionnaire, so Claire Walker would go through and do the health and well-being and starting point questionnaires and start to paint a picture of that sort of stuff, and that might trigger something. You think, okay, Claire might think, okay, well, let's start some conversations and meetings and support you for whatever that might be, and then from Daniel's perspective, he's just looking at it from the theory sessions, and so that's handed to the tutors so they kind of know what things like the colour overlays or like handouts, or maybe they want to print a paper and print coloured paper, instructions and broken down into chunks and sort of that stuff. So we really try and make sure that we do our best, the resources that we have, the people that we have, to enable their success ultimately.
And from that, those that have educational healthcare plans, EHCPs, so we do accept students with those as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we obviously, because it's a legal document, that gets given in. So that's why for the application we ask for, that, so we can get a copy. So we need to read that document to make sure that we can fulfil those needs within it. And most of the time we can. It's just making sure that we know what it is, what context it is in. Some of it might be more leaning on the social, emotional health stuff, and some might be more from the academic side of things. What's slightly different on that day is that you normally sat with 2 people in an interview, just one from our own policy procedures, and that might be with Rachel and Claire if it's more social, emotional health and stuff, or if it was more academic, Danny might sit in with Rachel, or it might be me.
That's for interview.
Yes.
That's for if we were interviewing, we would really try and make them feel at ease and try and do them as more of an individual. Sometimes when they're not even coming on those days, making separate appointments.
And then I'll have an assessment day as well, just to, or usually in the afternoon, just to kind of go through and check anything that might need support, or just some basic simple stuff, so we get to engage with the horses as well. So it's quite a nice part of some of the other others don't get to do. We just really want to make sure that we can fulfil their needs. But we have learners right now that have educational healthcare plans who are thriving and doing well.
I think next year there's 8 then, isn't there?
I think so.
Yeah.
So for those that have got one and they're a bit unsure whether it's suitable, then absolutely apply.
Apply, we'll have a look
Go
at
from
it
there.
and we can see,
Yeah.
hopefully we can meet those needs and
Yeah.
we'll have those conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. So, a few more questions that we've got here. So, Vicky's asked, how many horses do you have at Doncaster Equine College?
28.
To be precise.
28, yeah. And
So all
Matthew
shapes and
won't
sizes.
let me have any more. It fills my my passion of collecting. So it makes me stay at a certain number, otherwise I would have more.
So they come in all shapes and sizes,
Absolutely, yeah.
from
The more with the better.
little ponies to, to big horses.
Yeah, so we've got Little Linford, who's an ex-racing pony, 13-2, who's been there, done it, and got the T-shirt, and then we've got through to, what would we say, Dexter or Billy being the bigger one, or Duke.
Yeah,
We've got,
about 17 hours, weren't they?
yeah, we've got a couple of big guys in there, and they've all got various backgrounds and abilities, and the one thing that I would say key about ours is that they're all willing to work. The horses are so not really like a riding school, are they?
No.
They're horses that want to get on with the job and want the students to get on and go with them. They're not going to run off with them or do anything stupid, but they're not kick along. They are giving you a true insight into industry where you have to have a horse that takes you willingly forward.
And I think that's another good thing about us. We've got a variety of different horses. We've got some thoroughbreds there as well, and there's some warm bloods, there's some cobs. So it gives a real range for the learners to maybe sort of see what type of breed they might like to work with, or what they enjoy riding. And we've got mares and geldings, and so it gives again the opportunities to see a nice breadth and width of different types of horses to learn to ride on, and that's really unique as well.
It is, and we do a really good job with older horses. So we're really promoting the lifespan of the horse, really, by having them living out, keeping everything moving and mobile, keeping a level of fitness for them. The students are seeing how they're looked after, so they have the teeth, they have chiropractor, they have regular saddle fittings that they're all involved in. They're involved with the farrier when he comes in. So they're seeing how a horse doesn't have to retire at 15 years of age, how it can keep going and keep doing a useful, purposeful job. So all of those things, I think, make you realise that how we value the welfare of our horses.
Oh, absolutely. And some of the horses as well have been, at the top of their game when they were competing back in the day.
Well, yeah.
Grade A showroom.
Yeah, we've got some special boys,
Yeah.
and girls,
So that sometimes doesn't come out of their brain either, does it?
No, we've got Duke who regularly likes to show his show jumping skills off across posting methods.
Yeah, likes to jump out of paddocks,
Yeah, 20 cents.
Likes to go and meet new people. So he's, we've got some fabulous horses, really, that we have got. And the thoroughbreds, we were a big promoter of the ROR. We had a student who went to Hickstead with Steel Blue, and he actually did qualify again this year. But unfortunately, we just couldn't facilitate taking him this time. So he started with the racing college after his racing career, and then came over to us for a slightly quieter life. Don't think he's quieter, but he is doing a fantastic job. And we've got about 12 thoroughbreds, I think.
At least,
Yeah. So we're a really big promoter of the ROR side of thoroughbreds.
It's huge as well, in the industry. It's so big. The competitions that the ROR
provides, and it's nice for the students as well, because we've had learners that have crossed over both colleges at times. Some rather gone to Doncaster Equine College. We had a course starting, probably actually August last year, and they decided actually I'm not quite ready for this sort of program, and they went to deck, and we've had deck learners come through the college course here and do the residential and go out to racing. So it gives them a taste, and sometimes it sort of helps decisions or just some insight.
So
It's one of the first courses we had Georgina and
Alex.
Alex, who've gone over to John Joe O'Neill's yard and still there very successfully and during their careers. So that's a real positive.
Absolutely. Ultimately, it's a discipline in the equine industry, and
Yeah.
it just happens to be on their doorstep.
Absolutely,
It's ideal.
It's good.
Absolutely.
It's exciting and stuff, and learners, our learners and deck learners, they cross paths and they talk and communicate, and they ask who they're on and stuff. So it's a community here, and the sense of that both colleges sort of work really tangibly quite well with each other. Sometimes you think, oh, it's a deck and it's the NHC, but it works really quite well. And the benefit of like a learner is that sometimes you can say, well, actually, if you're really interested in this, you can go down this, and it's another arm to our, or a bow to our string, as they say.
Absolutely. That's it. So we've got a question from Millie. She's asked, can I have a part-time job alongside doing a course at Doncaster Equine College?
Yes. Because we're only asking for you to do 2 to 3 days, you've got 4 days to yourself. If you're on a level 3 program, we do need 150 hours work experience from September to Easter out of you. But so long as you've managed to facilitate that, then obviously of course. And a lot of the work experience positions do turn into small jobs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Another question on here, Zach's asked, I have my own horse and I showed you what course would be most suitable for them.
Depends where it gets in his maths and English.
So
Maths and English is key,
yeah.
It's so difficult because we do respect that he's obviously competing, he's out there, he's looking after his horses, but the further up the academic ladder you go, the more that we do need to know that you can write the assignments to get the level. There's no point in trying to do a level 3 and scrape a pass. When you come in to do a level 3, we want you at distinction. So we would need you to have done that to go on to that sort of level.
Absolutely, absolutely. So another question on here, Sarah's asked, what careers have previous learners gone on to do after completing a deck course?
Ooh.
Well, we just mentioned, just the girls that went to John Joe's. I'll let Rachel know, she knows them better than I do.
We've got Brooke as well.
We've got Brooke, Brooke who's gone on to do equine dentistry exams. We've got one of the students that left last year, she's working for an influencer events, so she's very busy. There was her sister did the miniature horses, and they were producing and showing those. At the deck show, I was talking to a student who was one of our early ones, Ellie, and she's gone on to do, she's just signed up to do a McTimoney course in chiropractic. We've got Scarlett, who's leaving us this year to go to higher education. Libby and Lucy, who are on that group as well, they're coming back to college in Redcoats. Lucy will be pleased to know she finally gets a Redcoats. And they're going to be support workers for us with students that we think that they'll fit into those roles really well. So we've got some people that have been to Keeley Squires, the para rider, and we've got some people who've been to Worktop Stud. So there's various different places that people have ended up over the last few years when they've decided that's where they want to go.
There's so many different routes that they can take. Following the courses at Equine College, and the great thing about the college is that you have so many people come into the college. So whether that's as you mentioned, saddle fitter, farrier, nutritionists, physios. You name it that we use for the welfare of our horses. They come in, they're encouraged to talk to them, ask them how they got into their career and how they went about doing the qualifications that they've done. So
we've had people come in and do talks, haven't we, and special stuff like that, and events that come in. So they've got a chance to meet those and
Well,
learn a few things.
We've just had Saracens Feed come in. They weighed the horses and talked to the students about how the body score and recommendation of diet. So they were really good. We've got Fire Brigade that Matthew is promoting.
Oh, yes.
They're coming in, and so that's a different side of it, because they're showing about the rescue of horses and the care on that side. Before now, we've had Jane Hemingway's come in and done welfare talks for us. We've had a variety of different people that are coming in and done demonstrations. We've done quite a few trips, so the minibus has been up and down the road quite a bit recently.
Down the A1.
Yeah, so we visited Lincolnshire, two lots of groups visited Lincolnshire. We've been to Bramham, we've been to Manor Grange doing dressage. Then they stopped at stood on the way back. The Wallace stood on the way back. We've been to numerous places. We went to Hoyt, how can I forget that? Supporting another student competing there. Your Horse Live, yeah. In fact, it's really, really nice just to come and go on the trips. Just to be a student and go on the trips is just fantastic.
Collect shopping bags.
Yeah.
But they're so educational, especially, the bigger shows, and seeing the different careers that are out there.
Yeah.
That's
When they
really
went to Manor, they gave them clipboards and they all got a chance to score because they were really good competitors that were watching. When the level 3s went to Speakley and supported with the event, some of them were on the timing, some of them were on the fence duties, jobs, so they got a real hands-on on that side of things as well.
Yeah.
So we try to make sure that if we can link it to something really engaging, we will do.
It's really good. I mean, I think back when I was looking back and learning where I was going to take my career, it's so hard sometimes just to, you're kind of passionate about something, but what is that going to take, or what are you good at? And, the fact that we can offer these different events and different things that can happen, it just helps steer people. It's a great day out, learning new things, visiting new places, taking some new information, and that's just that way that we look at helping them make those decisions towards their career. It's excellent. I mean, you think about what we do within a year, we cover a lot of ground, don't we?
Yeah.
And you see the change from, they might arrive quite shy, quite worried about socialising,
Yes.
and then their confidence.
Yes,
builds
the
so-
buzzy bees at the moment, yeah.
They're not far from graduating,
Yeah.
are they, at the moment?
Yeah.
Is it 2 weeks?
Yeah, planning all the speeches, fabulous speeches coming out, going to be amazing. Matthew's supporting a lot this time. Yeah, because obviously you guys this time would normally be with us, but we've booked the wrong week for you, so you're off.
Great Yorkshire Show.
Yeah,
Great show, yes, they do show,
Yeah.
So they'll be visiting you there to pop on the simulator.
Yeah, they always do pop by. Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. So, I've been asked here by Jess, what facilities are there for breaks and lunch?
Well, so we've got a dedicated canteen down here, just literally below us, as we sit here. So that's basically there to provide for lunch, so that learners will free lunch,
Free lunch.
Yeah. So
It's a bonus.
absolutely. So they come in and they can have a choice selection of meals. There is a little canteen up at the visitor centre, so we have tea, coffee, juice. Again, free. I guess we have a tuck shop, don't we? We have a little tuck.
do have a tuck shop.
We have a little tuck shop,
Yes.
so learners can grab any little snacks and stuff like that as well. So on the break, if you have a bad smoking habit, we have a smoking area. We have benches around the front of the visitor centre. So again, the students, if it's like beautiful weather that we've been having, they can sit out there and socialise and chat and de-wind. To be fair, they've got the access to this really if they want to. It's just again time scales really from lunch, so the little commute down the road that they have to do.
5-minute walk.
Yeah.
It's nice on a nice day.
It is.
It's raining.
Maybe not so much, but that's kind of part of the job, isn't it? I guess when working with that.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
You accept that it's all weathers, and
Yeah.
that is how it is.
It is.
So a question here from Libby. So she's asked, what equine backgrounds do the lecturers have?
All various. So Amanda is, she's got her AI, she does showing, so she does quite a lot of judging for colours, and she's big into economies. We've got Jo Wrighton, who's big into a dressage and used to run a yard before she came to us and worked a little bit on the racing side. We've got Victoria, who's done a degree at Bishop Burton, and she is she worked on the racing side before, done some parts of eventing. So there's quite a good depth. Rachel Middlewood, who's one of our learning support, she used to have a licence and was a jump rider and got
Geography,
yeah.
point to pointing, wasn't she?
yeah, big in point to pointing. So we've got quite a lot of depth and yeah.
Absolutely. There's a lot of knowledge there to pass on.
For sure, I think that, you know,
Yes, and my students inform me I'm full of quite a lot of facts and figures that I shouldn't really know about. But yeah, I do like pulling those out.
But it's good, you know, again, because you know, the learners can like use them as sources of information and help. You know, all these staff have all these various experiences. We even have staff from the racing side of it that come across and help out.
Oh yeah, we have Dave.
Yeah.
Both our Dave.
Yeah. So he
Yeah.
comes and helps on the 14 and 16
Yeah.
program that we have and deliver. So he goes down, works down with the horses down there, and you know, Jason, yeah, and he's obviously, yeah, Jason helps on from support because he does a bit of the LSA role down there. And again, you know, jockey, being in a family that has, you know, history of being in racing. But you know, he's worked with all sorts of horses, and he's had his wife, who's, you know, Claire Edmonds, who's our senior instructor, who works on the National Horse Racing College side of stuff. So yeah, it's a big family here. Yeah, which is great.
Yeah. I don't think you can ever stop learning though.
Oh no.
And the moment that your enthusiasm goes for learning is just really, you need to retire.
I think as well for learners, getting that like you said about the facts, that you're full of facts, but that's so important. Anybody that they meet, whether it's at Your Horse Live or whether it's here at the college, whether it's, you know, a competition that they're doing here, just speaking to people about their experiences, you'll learn something from everybody.
My daughter's competing as well. My son's now gone his boots up and gone to tractors, but my daughter's still competing, so I'm out at most local area level events and things like that as well, and my niece competes. So I might do again, but I still enjoy riding and I still enjoy being part of the equine. And I think when you get that level of enthusiasm, you can share it with people, young people who want to know, you know. So I've taken horses swimming, I've taken horses hunting, travelled them, done so we can have conversations all the time, or they'll ask me about something, and usually I have had that sort of experience, you know, and so they do quite often try and sidetrack me when there's a serious question to answer. Yeah, I think it's we have a great depth of knowledge and great thirst to continue sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And if a learner wants an opportunity, you know, you do your best to find that opportunity, whether it's competing. I know Amanda takes a few learners under her wing, and they'll compete her show ponies as well. Or whether it's a learner that wants to do retraining of racehorses classes, you know, there is an opportunity. If they work hard enough and they dedicate themselves to it, then we'll do our best to find those opportunities for them.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So a question here, they've put, my daughter is going into year 11 in September. When should she apply for the course starting next September, so 2026?
Well, technically she could apply, but you know, normally our applications start from the January, February time, don't they? Usually. Interviews and stuff.
We're allowed to apply for.
Yeah.
We let them apply for.
But interviewing time, we kind of get everyone in at that stage, don't we? Plan them in. But she could literally apply. If that's it's open. All we would say is like, you know, this is.
We won't interview anybody for next year at the moment.
So you get the new group start in September,
and then
and then
move to the next one.
Rachel has asked, another Rachel, what are your biggest challenges that new students face, and how does DEC help them to overcome them?
Oh, that's a good question, isn't it? So
It's different ones, isn't it? It could be different things, couldn't it? I mean, I suppose for the first time being here, like Rachel highlighted, socialising with a new group of people, trying to get
well, they
along.
don't even know the tutors, do they?
Well, exactly, yeah.
So we feel that because we are quite inclusive where we are, you're not going to get lost. But you will still be worried that you will get lost. You will still be worried that you don't know who you're going to make friends with, and if you're going to make friends with people. So I think there's the biggest problem is the worries about what they don't know, because they're leaving school where it's comfortable and they know where everything is and who they can find. So I think it's really important that they come in with the attitude that even though I'm scared, I'm going to have a go and try and get settled into finding somebody that they think, they might even just hear them speak and think, oh, actually the voice sounds quite warm, I could get on with that person, and just try and be open to it. And
we have that summer induction, don't we?
We have a summer induction, so we meet. So they'll potentially meet everybody that's on their programme. We're all in the same uniform. Unfortunately, we're still in red. But they'll all be the same, so they'll not feel different or segregated for that. Obviously, there's lots of designers out there that people want to wear, but so they'll feel all quite equal. Then they'll meet tutors, they'll have the timetable, we'll walk through the areas so that they know where they're going and what they're doing. And we would try and do everything within meet Claire Walker as soon as possible, so that they can always go and talk to her straight away. And we try and make everything seem fairly easy and relaxed and straightforward.
The first couple of weeks are really supposed to be just a nice induction, just getting
tripping.
Just getting them familiar with the place environment. I suppose they could be sort of scared of things and nerves, but all we would do is encourage them to communicate with us or with our concerns, because we're not mind readers and stuff like that in situations. So if they do turn up and they are worried about something, it's approaching staff and saying, look, I'm struggling with this, and that's when we can then step in or try and resolve that or facilitate something or help to resolve whatever that issue might be.
Just communicate with us.
Well, this is why the DEC phone's really good, because they can drop us a text if they don't want to speak to us. They can drop us a text and we can communicate on that level if we need to.
Yeah, of course,
So again, we know that they're going to struggle with these things initially.
Yeah. One good thing that we do is the WhatsApp group as well. So before the course starts in September, so around 6-8 weeks before, we invite them to join the WhatsApp group. So that WhatsApp group is dedicated to all the groups that start in September, level 1, 2 and 3, and it's their chance to meet everybody in their group virtually, digitally meeting them. They often take it to Snapchat or wherever they wish to take it, but it's the place where we post videos. So whether if they've got the bus, it's a video showing them when they get off the bus where they go to, what the canteen looks like. If they've never been to an open day or a taster day, it's showing them what we look like, make it familiar for them. That puts a lot of them at ease as well. So for those joining, we always say if you don't have to join the WhatsApp group, but we always recommend it for.
It is, and it's quite normal for some of them to be really worried and want to do a dry run, and of course they can always pop in and say hello and and have a drink and then leave or whatever. So all things like that, it's quite normal for young people to need to do that, so they know what the time scale is of travelling and if they can do that on their own. So they're all good ideas as well.
I think just get out and see the world, and sometimes we worry about everything, don't we? Sometimes in life, and I think the worst that's going to happen is you just say this isn't for me, and okay, that's fine. But at least you stepped out into this comfort zone, and you've tried something, and you go, you know what, I've got this, I made an achievement today. And to be honest, once you get here, when you settle in, most
the days go so fast.
And
I'm so tired at the end of the day. So quick and so fast and furious.
So and by the end of the week, this. So we always try and encourage them to stick it out as well. You know, if people thinking leaving, we'd say, well, you know, give it some time because the first day or the second day it might have been a bit slow because we were doing paperwork and which we've got to do, unfortunately, you know, that side of things. So give it a couple of weeks before you make any rash decisions and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, we've hit 7 p.m.
Yeah.
It's flown by. So just quickly before we finish Taste Today. So we've had a Taste Today here this morning. So we met a wonderful bunch of young people that wanted to essentially have a taste of what it's like at Doncaster Equine College. So for those that are wondering whether they'd like to come or not, we'll say come to a Taste Today. So the next one's on 15th of July, which is our last one of this academic year.
Yes, they've been very successful this year, yes.
So they're free to attend, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they're for those in those age 14 to 18, so years 10 and onwards are eligible to attend one of those. So so what kind of things did they do this morning, very briefly?
They taught courses and had a grooming session, talked about grooming kits, they did some plaiting, bandaging, they came and had a ride on a simulator, went through about putting rugs on, taking rugs off, and general chats and just hands-on.
Yeah, it's all practical.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So if anybody is interested in attending one of those, 15th of July, our next one, all you do is go onto our website and register your interest on there. Like I said, it's free to attend, so so register.
Absolutely, yeah.
We'll-
Come on,
we'll
something
be-
like that because it's just
wonderful for them to.
opportunity to find out a bit more.
Yeah,
And obviously, if anybody's got any questions, we're open to emails, phone calls, to answer anybody's concerns or queries that they might have.
of course, absolutely. Wonderful. So we've reached 7 p.m. So that's the end of our live question and answer session. So thank you for those that have joined us this evening. Thank you for sending your questions in. If you have any questions after this session, then please continue to send them in. We'll be able to answer them by comments, or if you wanted to email us, give us a call Monday to Friday, message us on social media, however you wish to contact us, then please do. So thank you to Matthew and Rachel for joining us this evening. If you'd like any more information, then please visit our website as well. That's full of information. And keep your eyes peeled for our new open afternoon dates as well, which will be in the next academic year. So thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you soon.